Good morning, sweethearts. How y'all doing? It's a beautiful day. How's everything going? How y'all feeling? Many of you will have noticed another wave started coming in last night. It's going to intensify this today. A lot of diarrhea, a lot of nausea for many of you. A lot of aches and pains. You're integrating, sweethearts. You're upgrading and you're downloading. And as we continue on this roller coaster ride to freedom, you're going to really find, especially in the past 24, 36 hours, you're being presented with many choice points, if you will. Choice points in your relationships, choice points in your physical surroundings, and there's a lot going on. Good morning, Eric. Good morning, Sienna. Big hugs and blessings, sweet ones. I have a friend. Let me give you an example. You know, everything in this outside world is a message, sweethearts. Your relationships, everything is a message. And I have a friend who is traveling. Good morning, Teresa. And, you know, she ran into a problem with her muffler. And I was showing her, I says, you know, when a muffler breaks, that's the symbolism of a lot of pent-up negative energy that's not being able to be released. And if you don't release it, it's going to affect you physically and mentally and cause you to spiral. And she's like, wow, I see that symbolism now. And so, you know, even though it seems like everyday things, you know, things just happen, there's a message there, sweethearts. And if you really allow yourselves to observe right now, you can really see the messages. Now, for her, she has a travel companion that, you know, that is spiraling. And so when you can tie the message of what's going on with the muffler, if you will, and apply that through all the lenses, you will see exactly where there is, you know, what it's showing you, you know, choice points. Okay, it's time to release that person. It's no longer for my highest good. It's time to release this. And that's what these energies are really, really doing right now. They're really, you know, you're getting messages from so many avenues and aspects and in different ways that if you really step back and allow yourselves to observe, sweethearts, you will really see what Spirit is trying to show you, what yourself is trying to show you. And so as you, excuse me, I've been really nauseous all morning. And so as you go through this another wave that's coming in, sweethearts, you're really gonna find that it is really showing you a lot of choice points here, literally giving you the option to choose. And so really allow what's being presented in the physical, sweethearts. Really step into it, feel into it, and not take it literally, but look at it through all your lenses, if you will, above, below, around, through, and you will find that everything is a message for you. We're going through even more intense bifurcation of these timelines, and, you know, slowly but surely it is sifting out everything that is not of that higher frequency of love. And you're really, really noticing that. And I'm not familiar with what's going on with the hurricane here today. I haven't heard anything. I don't watch the news or anything. I really get it from you guys. So just keep that intentions there, sweet ones. You know, really, really focus on this neutralizing and harmonizing, and really put those loving intents out there for everybody. This is a time that's really asking us, not only with the with the flooding and stuff in Louisiana and Texas and whatnot, this is really asking us and showing us that it's time. It's really time to come into unity. It's time to gather. You know, I was sitting outside just a few minutes ago, grounding and watching the sunrise, and a red-tailed hawk showed up. And a red-tailed hawk is great symbolism. And once the red-tailed hawk is with you, it's pretty much with you your whole journey. And you know, one of the symbolism for red-tailed hawk is, and it was really cool because it literally just jumped from fence to fence to fence in the row of houses here. And it's really showing you to really allow yourselves these quantum jumps, to jump into and follow your spirit, to really step into your self-worth, your self-identity, and allow that to guide you. And so as you go through this day, sweet ones, you know, I really encourage you to stay in your peaceful hearts. There is much going on that is trying to get your focus off, if you will, of following your heart. There's much being presented that can. Good morning, Patricia. How you doing, beautiful? There is much that is occurring, if you will, in your individual physical lives that is occurring to see if it can deter you off from following your spirit, from following your heart. And these are just obstacles, and if you can step back and really view it, sweethearts, from a detached observance, you're going to find their choice points. And their choice points of timelines collapsing, timelines merging. You're going to find that you're saying things, you're doing things, and you're not necessarily sure why you said that or why you did that. You know, again, the past and the future timelines are merging into one, and those that are not for your highest good are collapsing and giving you that choice point. And I love you too, Shirley. Big hugs and blessings, sweethearts. And big hugs and blessings, Sharon, Betty. So really allow yourselves to observe through these energies and this next wave coming in, because it's really showing you what's being released. It's really showing you, you know, a choice point. And right now you're getting choice points in literally moment after moment after moment, whether you're recognizing them or not. And you're going to find, again, many are falling away. You're choosing to walk away. You're choosing to no longer participate. You're choosing to not react. And if you really observe, allow yourselves to observe yourself, you're really going to find where you have become more graceful, or those around you have. You have become more gentle in your mannerisms, in your words, in your actions. And you're really finding yourself in spaces of, again, that roller coaster of up and down as emotions come up and insecurities. You know, right now, a lot of this is presenting each of you with the opportunity to really self-respect for yourself and not allowing others to no longer pull that self-respect out of you. You're really stepping into being and feeling and knowing you are worthy. And that's a big thing for all of humanity. Through, you know, you have been abandoned, you have been rejected, you have been made to feel unworthy. And these energies are all bringing that back for you. And if you step back and you allow yourselves to observe, you're really going to find where you're starting to really step into that worthiness. You're really allowing yourselves to let those feelings of loneliness go, those feelings of abandonment go, those feelings of being rejected. and you're also finding in your interactions with the outside world, if you will, that you're no longer allowing others to make you feel unworthy. You're no longer allowing others to make you feel abandoned or rejected or anything like that. And you're really finding yourself to become intolerant. And this is okay, sweet ones. Good morning, Michelle. And intolerance is a big thing that's very, very prevalent right now, very present right now. And rather than react to that intolerance, if you allow yourselves to observe it, you will really see that this intolerance is showing you the collapsing and bifurcation of all these timelines. And that intolerance is you truly standing up for yourself, embracing that self-respect, embracing your knowing, embracing your power and claiming it. And you will find if you can observe this, it will be a more graceful transition. You won't react so much in a negative manner, if you will, about this intolerance that you're feeling. And again, if you allow yourselves to observe, sweethearts, this intolerance is really just, again, it's just showing you where those choice points are. And where you have maybe spent, where you have really enabled people to be dependent on you, or people have enabled you to be dependent on them. You're really finding right now that that's where a lot of this intolerance is. And you're really coming into a space of self-empowerment, self-knowing, and not allowing others to dictate to you and tell you what you have to do. Whereas before, you found yourself in those spaces where everyone was telling you what to do and what was good for you, what wasn't good for you. That's not smart to do, yada, 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 yada. And so as you go forward through this next wave, sweet ones, really allow yourselves to observe, really allow yourselves to see what's still triggering you and why it's triggering you. And when I say that, before I'd encourage you guys, step back, detach your emotions, and really observe. Well, now observe the why it's happening. And if you can observe the why it's being presented, if you can communicate with yourself, with your spirit, and say, okay, why is this being presented right now? What is the choice point here? Because really everything that is being presented right now, excuse me, is showing you a choice point. And you have stepped in and claimed enough of your own self-worth, you have built your self-esteem up, you're coming into your knowing, you're stepping into your power, and so now you're being given another level, if you will, to observe why it's being presented and the necessity for why it's being presented. And it truly is just a choice point for you as these timelines continue to emerge and collapse. And again, sweethearts, find the magic in this, even though it seemingly seems turbulent, tumultuous, chaotic, really just find the magic and observe. Good morning, Carla. Good morning, Ann Cush. Big hugs and blessings, sweet ones. All right, Michelle, what you saying here, beautiful? As I stand up for myself and ask for clarity, I often get confused about what's my stuff, what's their stuff. I have always seemed to just take it on and feel like it is all me because the rest feels like a mirror for me. And Michelle, it's really helpful to understand it really is all us. Because it's a tool for us. And even though it seems like they're outside of us, it's really just us. Because everything is a mirror and a reflection of what we're observing is Kaz, how do I ascend? Do I awaken my DNA? And how? Rhea, I'll answer your question in just a sec. Let me answer Kaz real quick. Beautiful. Kaz, how do I ascend? Sweet ones, it's really necessary and helpful to understand that in every given moment you're ascending. Good morning, Michelle. Ascension isn't just like that. Now, planetary ascension, when it's, can be just like that. But as far as the human aspect goes, ascension isn't overnight. And how do I awaken my DNA, Kaz? Your DNA is awakened the more you deal with and release the darkness in your heart, or the walls and the binds and the chains that you keep around your heart. The more inner work you do and you release, the more in frequency you rise to, the more DNA that is activated. And so really, Kaz, to answer your question, all is within. When you allow yourself to step into those wounds, that darkness, those walls, those skeletons, those ghosts you hold within your heart, and release them and transform them and neutralize them back to 0 point, you will find that is your ascension process, sweetheart. That is how you awaken your DNA. Every higher level of frequency you allow yourself to rise to, more and more of your DNA is awakened, is activated. And so all is within, sweet ones, and everything else is a tool, is a mirror, is showing you a choice point. You can choose to love or you can choose to fear, and that's really what these choice points are showing you. You can choose to react to somebody that's projecting out on you, or you can choose to be that pillar of peace. And I hope that answered your question, Kaz. Now, Rhea, what's about the story Atlantis is Rising? You're most welcome, beautiful. Atlantis is Rising. It's really helpful to understand this. The higher frequency we go, the deeper into the density we go. Now, you all know about I can't even talk this morning. Agartha and Inner Earth, and even though Atlantis and Lemuria sank, you're going to find with the shifting and the purging and the cleansing that the Earth is going through, you're going to find that the physical outside world is being returned to her natural state. And her natural state is the way it used to be. So yes, Atlantis is rising. Yes, there is a bunch of shifts taking place. You're going to find that as Atlantis and Lemuria and all of these changes are going on, and they rise back up, if you will. Earth is being morphing back into her natural state of heavenly paradise. And that's what I speak of. If you really observe as this bifurcation of these timelines continues, you are seeing that the morphing on the physical plane happen a lot. Now, Rhea, to answer your question, what's the story about Atlantis rising? That's the story. We are returning to our natural state of being, and with that, the Earth is returning to her natural state of being in the physical aspect. So, is Atlantis rising? Absolutely. Atlantis rises as much as we rise, if you will. And, this is a beautiful, beautiful, magical time. But in order, again, for Atlantis and stuff to rise, it begins here. It begins with each of us raising our frequencies, and we have reached that critical mass. We have reached that point. That's why we went through a reboot. And so, really, this is just again choice point after choice point after choice point to continue, and really allow it to take place. It's not like anyone else loose comes. What's that mean, Michelle, honey? And so really allow this to take place and really observe what is being shown you, because Atlantis rising really is just bringing us back to our natural state of being in the physical aspect. And if you watch, sweet ones, you're going to see, when I say the physical world is morphing, you're really going to see where, say there was a store on the corner that was there yesterday, and all of a sudden it's gone. It's cleared out overnight and gone. Those are what I'm saying by morphing. You're really going to see stuff like that taking place as this purification continues, not only within, but without. Michelle, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Nelson James, I'm not doing inboxes right now. I'm dealing with a family situation that has taken my attention right now. And Kaz, is it true we have past lives? I feel estranged from my family sometime. Maybe past lives getting in the way. What do you reckon? Yes, you have past lives. Sweet ones, it's really helpful to understand this. Your earth families are not necessarily your soul families. Now, let's liken it to this. Now, if you have children or you're a child of your parents, observe yourselves for a minute. And I'm not sure how else to describe this, so don't take this literally when I use the word normally. I'm going to use it for the human aspect, if you will. If you look at both of your parents, and you look at, well, I'm going to use my children for this. This is a better example for me to say it like this. Okay. My first two children from my first husband is a perfect example of this. A boy and a girl. Now, my oldest son looks more like me, but has a better relationship with his father. Now, my daughter looks more like her father, but had a better, if you will, relationship with me than she did her dad. Now, it's really helpful to understand that one parent that you are born to is a surrogate parent, and one is a soul parent. Now, normally, and there's that word normally I'm going to use again, in the human aspect, if you will. Good morning, Barack. Good morning, Lizette. Big husband blessings. The child that looks like the parent and will normally have a better relationship with the parent that they do not look the most like. Now, with my son, he looks like me but has a better relationship with his father. And that is due to normally the child, if you will, that looks like the other parent, the one it looks like is the surrogate, if you will. And the one that they don't look like but has, again, everything's a polarity, and has the better relationship, like with my oldest son, he had a better relationship with his father. That's because his father is his sole parent. I was the surrogate, if you will. Now, like with my daughter, she looks more like her dad, but had a better relationship with me. And that's because her dad was the surrogate and I was the soul mother, if you will. And so if you allow yourselves, Kaz, to observe that, are your family getting in the way? Only if you allow them to get in the way. Your past lives, if you will, that's part of the bifurcation of these timelines. The past and the present and the future are all literally aligning into one now for each of you. And so, you're finding that as you remember some of your past lives, and a lot of these past lives and timelines are being collapsed in your dream times, sweet ones. They're being merged in your dream times. And that's why there are things occurring right now that can be very confusing. Why did I do that? Why did I say that? And then you come into clarity that, oh, that's because they're merging together as one. And, I said something the other day and it's like, why did I say that? That don't even make sense. And I had to sit there, okay, Spirit, what are you showing me here? And 2 days later, the clarity came in the sense that, I said that because that was a future timeline that I'm bringing into the present. I see how it's all linking together now. And really, that's where the observance is really coming in, you know. And that's really the magic of what's being presented, because you're literally taking what you want from the past and from the future, and you're bringing it in right now. And the stuff that you do not want is falling away. The people that don't match what you hold in your heart as your dream life, as your heavenly golden realms, if you will, those are the choice points to let go. You know, you're literally merging it all back in. Your mind, body, soul, and spirit are coming into the diamond. They're coming into alignment. And that's the glory of these. That, you know, even though the diarrhea and the aches and pains and the puking and the nausea and the headaches and everything else that you're going through, it's really, really magical, because, you know, it's all worth it. And the more you get through, if you will, and the more you observe the choice points being, and you actually choose to follow your heart. Because right now, for lack of a better way of saying this, sweet ones, you're literally being tested. And you're being tested in the sense that, and I use that just for the human aspect. You're literally being tested every moment in a choice point. And so when you can allow yourselves to not emotionally attach to what is presenting itself within and without, and really see it for the choice points that it is, you're really going to find this going to be much more graceful. These integrations are going to be much more gentle, and they're going to go much quicker. Sharon, you know, I have my books written. I have 2 books. I have a book of my poetry, and I have my spiritual self-acceptance book open. And I actually have a spiritual self-acceptance group on Facebook that Facebook will not let me in. So if any of the members of that group actually watch my videos, that's why I'm not in there. Facebook has blocked me from my group. So, just so you're aware. I can't even get into my own group. And so, right now I don't have my books in published, sweetheart. Just message me, Sharon, if you have any questions, beautiful. And I will get back to you again. I'm dealing with a family situation right now, and so I'm really not available very much in Messenger. For those who have messaged me, I've tried to answer them saying I'm not doing guidance right now. When Creator gives me the abundance to get them published, sweetheart, I will. And so I will answer you guys, you know, but right now I just need to get through this space with my family right now. Good morning, Phoenix, Marianne. Big hugs and blessings to all of you. Lizette says that happens. I have a better relationship with my dad, my mother, and I fight a lot. And, you know, it doesn't have to be a fight. Lizette, it doesn't have to be a fight. And right now, that's what these are showing us. You know, it's okay to disagree. It's okay to be in that space of allowance and acceptance. You know, just because you disagree doesn't mean you have to argue or fight or anything else. And that's really where we're at right now. And again, that's those choice points. And so as this next wave comes in, and, you know, really observe it for what it is. Really observe what is occurring in your physical surroundings, like my friend with the muffler. Really observe, because right now you're really being brought into your soul tribes. You're really being brought together with new people appearing in your lives, and so many exiting, if you will. And that exit is being presented in a number of ways, you know. And so when you can see everything as a messenger, when you can accept everything as a message and see it, and it's going to go much graceful. These choice points are going to not, let me restate that. These choice points are going to make themselves appear really to you, which is the better. You're not going to struggle, I guess, is what I'm trying to say with these choice points, and recognizing, oh gosh, what do I do? The confusion is going away, sweet ones. The unsureness, I guess, is going away. And thank you, Teresa. Big hug, Stacy. And so, thank you all. And oh, Stacy, energy symptoms for 3 months now. Is that it, sweetheart? I'm just teasing you, sweetheart. Oh God, Ascension says energy symptoms are going for everybody. You know, this reboot has really amped it up. And even for those who have chosen not to awaken, they're feeling this. And you know, even though there's so much chaos and turbulence that seemingly seems to be going on, sweet ones, you really can see the beauty in it. You can see where, as chaotic as it may be, you can see the gentleness. Now, you know, even in your own relationships and stuff like that, you can see where it has somebody who used to erupt, I mean, in anger like you wouldn't believe. They may still erupt right now, but they're not as volatile in their eruptions, if you will. If you observe, and again, I'm not one to watch TV or listen to the radio or anything like that. If you observe, you can see where even the politicians, even everything else, they're starting to use the words peace. You can see on your commercials, you know, now they're coming out, and you're seeing where they're incorporating into billboards, into commercials, this and that. You know, the word spirituality. Now you're seeing meditation. Now you're seeing if you allow yourself to observe, you can truly see the new that is slowly being integrated. You know, I said, my sister's mother-in-law and her husband watch TV and stuff all the time, and the mother-in-law is right around 90 years old, doesn't look a day over 70, which is beautiful. And I was cooking something, I walked by going to go outside, and on the commercial it showed, and I can't even tell you what commercial it was, but it was talking about something that the words peace and calm were in the commercial, and what caught my eye about it is like, wow, they've really changed their message. That's awesome. So if you allow yourself to observe slowly the outside physical world, just as your journeys have not been overnight, they have been a stairway to heaven, if you will, so too is the morphing that has taken place in the physical outside plane. And your true new realities literally are shifting and morphing into and manifesting into the physical, which is what we've been saying. As within, so without. As this shedding is taking place physically and also within you, that which was in here is now coming without. And it is manifesting if you allow yourself to see through the chaos. If you allow yourself to really step back and pay attention and observe, you can see where things are becoming more graceful. You can see where even Trump the other night in his live broadcast, and I didn't watch the whole thing of it. The only reason I seen part of it is because these guys had the news on, and they were watching it. But the few minutes that I watched it, he said the word peace 4 times. And that's not something that's been said, And so it is in the underlying things of things. You can see the changes if you allow yourself to observe it. Sharon, I feel the loving presence and gentle, tender guidance so strong right now, more so than ever before. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Big hug, Shirley. And so really allow, and that's really where your spirit is really asking you, instead of focusing on the chaos, the tumultuous energies and stuff like that, see through it, see around it, see beyond it, see above and below it. And sweethearts, you will really find where you are seeing more of these commercials, more of these promotions, whether it's on social media or anything else. Step outside of your spiritual groups and observe, and you will see where more and more it's coming out. They're incorporating into their logos, into their broadcasts, into their commercials, into their advertisements, meditation. Some people have sent me links to, look at this, and it has the words Om in it. They're incorporating that into their words, into their signals, their signs and everything like that. So if you can find the magic, if you can allow yourselves to actually observe, you will see where the words peace are coming more present. You can see where the words calm and meditation and everything is coming out. So really allow yourselves to observe and focus on the magic and the beauty of the morphing that's taken place, even though it seems to slowly be doing it. You didn't rise and evolve to who and what your natural state of being overnight. It was a staircase. It was a stairway. And that's the same thing that's happening in this outside world. As much as you're walking your stairway to heaven, so too is the outside world slowly going through that process as well. And that's why staying here is in the peacefulness of your heart is so necessary right now as these changes take place. Lizette, I watch a lot of TVs. Yes, peace is said a lot. People are tired of fighting, killings, many other things happening in the world. Yes, everyone wants peace. And see, peace begins within us. And the more peaceful you can remain here, the more you're going to see peace come into the physical world more and more. And so really allow these integrations to take place. Really allow, find the magic in these sweet ones. And really observe the choice points that we all are being presented with right now. Because in every moment, they are being presented. And that's all they are, is literally choice points. What you want to focus your attention on. What you want to focus your energies on. What you want to create. And if you can really step back and use everything as a tool, like I said, maybe your car's acting up, maybe this is happening, a pipe breaks in your apartment or starts leaking, all of these are messages for you if you allow yourself to heed those messages. If you allow yourselves to step back and instead of reacting, oh God, what am I going to do now? You look at when I came back from Miss Ellen's and doing that Let's Build, when the engine seized on my car, what does a seized engine mean? It means a total ending and a new beginning. So, everything is a message if you allow yourselves to observe it, sweet ones. Really flow in this next intense energy wave that's being presented and know that it's just allowing you to let go of the new, let go of the old to bring in some more new for you. And it all is just a choice point. And if you can step your emotions back, if you can step back and observe, you will see one will lead to fear and one will lead to love. And choose wisely. And on that note, sweethearts, enjoy this wave, drink extra water, ground, and ride your magic carpet through these energies. Because you will come out the other side in a most beautiful, beautiful manifestation of what's going on. I love you, sweethearts. Big, big, big hugs and blessings. Have a magical, magical day. Bye-bye now.